Hey there, happy Saturday guys, me Victor here, and do the weekly recap for the blog and for the YouTube page. Once more, the goal of these is just to track where I'm at in my trading process towards the state of consistency, alright? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm profitable. I'm not. I show you everything. I'm not lie. I don't want to be labeled as a fraud. I know no one really watches these, but again, I like doing these because again, 1 year from now, where am I going to be? Time flies by, alright? But the goal is just to go over my trades and some tickers and my thoughts, and that is it. But overall, this past week, not that many trades. Just, I believe there's only 3 trades, 4 trades, no, 3 trades. 3 trades this past week. Once more, I'm not trading as much as I wish I could, simply because I'm at work. That is why. But 3 trades, all on IZEA. This has been an absolute gift, a wonderful supernova to say the least. Just like we've seen, IZEA, again, what I'm about to say, I'm not going to judge the company, I judge price action, but IZEA was just the same type of scenario like on GNUS and UAVS. Same type of scenario, buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, GNUS is still bouncing, because on Friday they had a fluff PR about their cartoon. Okay, I'm not going to say this company's look bad, but they're pumping it, okay? The higher the better for a fader on that one. But back to IZEA, this one was going parabolic, okay? Now, Friday, you see this major downside, because 3 trades on this one overall. On Friday, they issued pre-market. It's kind of a good job on them. They issued an offering, a 40 million at-the-market offering, and let me just go over my first 2 trades on this one on Friday. And they're not great. They're both losses, okay? One was a loss 125, the other one was a loss 160. But I was on the right track. Now, whenever I saw them having 40 million at the market offering, it was pre-market, and I let my emotions get the better of me. I traded like a rookie, and I admit it. I shorted out of emotions because I don't want to miss the panic out of the open. So I shorted into this bounce right here. I can show you. I mean, I got, again, Profitability is not working right now. I gotta upload them within my, I gotta upload them myself. But this was, you're not gonna be able to see the arrows because it's pre-market. But I got short 1,000 shares, roughly at a 272 average. Right, I believe it was, what time was it? I'm not sure. It was 7:41. It was right. 7:41 is right about here. Right into this bounce right here, I got short. All right, from a 772 average. So I guess you say it right here, and I was risking 290s, right? And you can somewhat say, how come I didn't risk 3, right? I didn't use the wider stop. I should have done so, because if I would have used the wider stop, I would have still been in this trade. But that's one thing I'm working on right now, is setting the wider stop. Because if you look left, all right, this had major resistance towards the $3 and $3.10 area. As you can see from the previous day, it had major overhead resistance from $3 and $3.10. So why did I use the wider risk? Well, because I wanted to have a bigger size, and I got kind of, I let my emotions get the better of me, because whenever you have larger size, theoretically you make larger profits, okay? But, and I was afraid. I don't know why I was afraid. I mean, yes, it hit my risk, but barely. I mean, not even for 5 minutes, it didn't breach, right? So I did cover that one pre-market. It was kind of a bummer. I covered at 285. So again, I got short roughly, I guess, into this bounce right here in this mess, 272-ish, 274s, and I covered right into this bounce right here. Now again, use the wider stop, because as you can see, well, you never really know, okay? It's a Friday, and the odds say I was afraid. Well, you should never really be afraid if you have a game plan, and if you are risking within your risk parameters. Because if you're trading with fear, then likely, number 1, you're trading too large, and likely, number 2, you're trading without a game plan. Alright, and always do with both. But lesson learned from this one is not a short pre-market, unless it's in a pattern which I know, like a gap and crap, or an overextended gap down pattern, right? And yes, I'm not upset with this trade. The first trade pre-market, kind of I'm upset with, because I should know better to not let my emotions get the better of me, but it did, and that's why I took a loss, right? And the second trade on IZEA was the same exact thing. Now, I was shorting into the balance on this second play, okay? So I'll go over my first one in a minute. The first one's a profit. That was an overextended gap down pattern, which we'll go over. But the second one on IZA was on Friday again. This one as well was shorting 1,000 shares, right? But this one I can show you within the TraderView platform. I was shorting into weakness. That's something you should never do as a short seller. I was shorting. Think of it as a channel, okay? Right now it's in a channel between 275 and 260, if you call it. During the day, it was in a channel between the entire day. It was in a channel. I'm gonna go even zoomer. The downside halt kind of messes with the chart, but it was in a channel between 260 and 280 the entire day, right? 260 and 280. And as a novice trader, I shorted at the bottom end of a channel. That's something you don't want to do, okay? I'm learning from Tim Gertani. I mean, not directly, but from his DVD. You want to short at the top end of a channel because that's where, as a short seller, you have the greatest risk to reward, right? If I would have short at 280, risking 3 or 290s, I would have been fine. But I let the emotions, again, get the better of me because I was afraid to miss the bottom. I was expecting 260s to flush out and have a major washout, when in reality, that was a perfect time to buy. Because if I would have bought at 260 and still at $3, that's a profit, right? But as a short seller, that's bad. And I lost. I mean, yes, I did cut my losses quickly, which is good, because if I would have held, it would have been a major loss. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I would have held the entire way and held through the halt. No, you can't really predict the downside halt. But that is what the odds say that the halt was going to do. Because if you look at the past tickers which I've showed you on GNUS, and well, GNUS was more of a hype. That was more of a supernova. But a good example was UAVS. That was the same type of scenario, going into the conference call and had a major panic. This was the exact same thing. Now, I didn't short this into this balance. I should have, but the two sloppy trades before let me not be able to trade because it used all my day trades. And I'm not blaming the market, I'm blaming myself, because there's no reason why I should have shorted this in the pre-market session. There's no reason why I should have shorted this at the bottom end of a channel. And those two trades costed me a massive opportunity. All right. Am I upset? Kind of, because I was aiming to short this, okay? And I let my emotions get the better of me. But no big deal, because the pattern's always going to come back, because human nature never changes, okay? And I do feel sorry for those who lost on this. I do feel sorry for those who believe this company, okay? If it's your fault, do your own due diligence. Who say you should know that these companies only exist to raise money. They only exist to raise paper, okay? That's the only reason to become a listed stock in the stock market is to raise capital. I mean, for instance, look at Hertz. Hertz has been an absolute beast. They just got approved to raise, I believe, $1 billion of stock just because of what's been happening in the market. A lot of volatility lately. They're taking advantage of what's about to come, and I do feel sorry for those who are long, because they're about to get annihilated. Okay, this will go back to, I assure you, probably below. This is going to go to 40 cents eventually. Okay, this has been an absolute supernova. Congrats to those all who are short. I try to get short, but no bar, no cry. E-Trade don't have shares. I'm trying to convert to trade zero, but that takes time. But yeah, I'm an IZA. Just lesson learned on this one is not to let my emotions get the better of me, and don't short at the bottom end of a channel. All right, don't short where you should be buying, because this is clear support at 260, and I was shorting that level, right? Yes, you can somewhat say shorting the bounces, but again, as a short seller, you want to be shorting at the top end of a channel, because again, the entire day, channel of 260 and a channel of 280, right? The best time to short is at the top end of a channel at 280, risking via 293. All right, and that's nothing I'm working on. I want to use a tighter stop, because ideally I've been using about 10 to 15 cents. All right, but sometimes with a trade, I want to start dabbling in, and if a trade goes my way, go full size, add in, right? And that's something that I've not been doing with my shorts. I've been just going full size right out of the gate, and I don't want to do that. I want to focus on dabbling in, see how get a starter position, and see how the trade feels. Then if the trade is going my way, if the trade proves my thesis, then go full size, right? But other than that, that was that one. Those two trades. I mean, yeah, it's a loss of 160 and loss of 125, but the lesson learned are a lot. And yes, you have to lose a lot. I mean, it's not really a lot in dollar-wise, but I mean, losing is very important, right? I mean, if you could lose from a trade and walk away and be happy and say, I learned something from that trade, then you're doing something right, okay? Because your losses, again, are market tuition. Your losses are there to learn from. Don't ignore them. Now, I'm not saying to ignore your winners, because those are very important too. But just keep them equally balanced, all right? And the one profit I had on the IZA was a nice gap short, not a gap short, a nice overextended gap down pattern. This one was on Wednesday, I believe, whenever I had a nice flush. Now, when was it? This day right here, I believe? Unless it was this day. I think it was this day. This day had a nice overextended gap down. I mean, it doesn't look like a lot. I believe it was that day. Let me see. The 10th, June the 10th. This is June the 10th. Yeah. It doesn't look like a lot, all right? But I was shorting this very good because I had a nice gap down from the previous day. And again, I'm learning this pattern very well. And I locked in profits. Because as you can see, I had a nice squeeze into the close. Because they put out another PR saying they're going to have news on Friday. And that's what I was aiming for, a nice gap down pattern. Now, on this one, you always want to pay yourself in the watches because you never really know if they can always come back with this pattern, right? It's one thing I'm learning. And as you can see, I shorted pre-market. You can't really see the short arrows, but you can see my covers. And yes, I didn't lock in my full potential profit on this one, but I took the meat of the move, right? Because I shorted, I shorted at 191, 900 shares pre-market, and I covered ideally right into 173s, 177s. Not perfect, not the bottom of 170 or 160, of that matter, 168ers, but I covered the meat of the move, and I took the meat of the move. And as you can see, doing so saved me, because yes, it's a small profit of 146, but look, if I would have held and say I want more, I would have been squeezed out, right? And that's something I'm realizing right now as a short seller, is in the market we're in, you have to lock in your gain, because the volatility is extreme right now. But that's really it for those 3 trades. Yes, for the week, $138 down. For the month of June, I'm down roughly 184. All right, and yes, I'm primarily shorting. All of these are shorts. Okay, I'm trying to focus on going long because I know that there's a lot of opportunity right now in the market we're in. But I see more things on the short side. But believe me, as a trader, I want to be able to go both. So that's one thing I'm working on. But other than that, that's really all I wanted to talk about. And the game plan for next week as well, just to focus on what I'm good at. I don't have to trade every day. Yes, I'll be at work the majority of the time. I don't want to go to work, but believe me, it's all part of the process. And I think going to work helps me from not overtrading. I mean, otherwise, I only have 3-day trades within my account. I mean, I can easily open up another one, but I use E-Trade because I think it sucks the least. And I don't like using TD Ameritrade because they're... I'm not going to bash anyone. I just don't advise them, okay? I like E-Trade. I'm trying to go for Trade Zero. But again, the goal is to have 5,000 in one account and 5,000 in another. And I'm almost there. I mean, I roughly have about 5K in my E-Trade account. And it won't take me long to have 5K in my other account. But yeah, the game plan for next week is just to focus on A+ setups. And like on a gap short, like on ZKIN. This is a pattern that I should have been short. And trading IZA made me not focus on what I'm best at. And this is the pattern that I'm good at. This is a nice gap short. Alright, just like on Seco. 1 second, I want to pause this and go to the bathroom. Sorry about that. But as I was saying, I need to focus on what I'm good at, and that's gap shorts, because ZKIN is the exact same pattern as Seco, because Seco is a nice gap short, alright? And if you don't know what a gap short is, just please leave a comment. I'll let you know. I mean, it's not really rocket science. It's a stock that gaps up on news and it fades the entire day. Now, I have statistics. It's more than just what I said. It's a lot more complicated than that. It's not exact science, okay? The pattern's never really the same, but human nature never changes, right? And this one trade, Seco, should be my largest trade because this is a gap short. And as you can see, I left a lot on the table. I only took a piece of the part of the move. That's fine. But Seco was the exact same pattern on ZKIN, and E-Trade had shares to short. And I should have been shorting this into the pops, but I let the blinders. I was too focused on IZA and other stocks. Well, I only had 2 trades, so I mean, that IZA again took both of them. But that's one thing I'm working on for next week, is to focus on what I'm good at. And ideally, I don't want to trade every day. You know, I want to focus on what I'm good at, because I only have three trades a week, right? And 3 trades is more than enough. All right, you don't have to go for a small count. Just focus on what you're good at. And ideally, you want to focus on risk management. You want to have a trading plan. You want to focus on your mindset. You want to focus on self-discipline, self-confidence, and ideally your emotional intelligence. All right, and as well, you want to track your trades, because success leaves clues. You know, but other than that, this week is week 100 that I've been doing this. Now, if you don't know who I am, if you made it this far, I've been immersed with the stock market for 100 weeks, but I've only been trading with real capital for about less than 4. So time flies by. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment if you have any questions. But other than that, I'll see you next week.